I believe one of the biggest misconceptions that you and I face about narcissists and toxic relationships is that it's the result of their hard life. And therefore, we need to be compassionate and understanding that they've had it so rough and so hard that that's made them who they are. I don't buy it, and neither should you. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, when it comes to narcissists and toxic relationships, it's easy to fall into this trap of thinking that they somehow had a harder life than anybody else, when this can absolutely be false and not the truth at all. As a matter of fact, many narcissists and toxic people are not the result of difficult lives, but the lack of a difficult life, if you will, being entitled and given everything. But let's talk about trauma. The reality is that we all have trauma in our lives. And if you have experienced narcissistic abuse, then you have experienced trauma in your life. If you've experienced the loss of a loved one, you have experienced trauma in your life. And the question to ask yourself is, did that trauma cause you to become an abusive person? Is that what causes abuse to pour out of somebody, is the trauma that they have experienced? Why is it that some of the greatest, kindest, and most resourceful people and people who make a difference in this world, why are most of these people the outcome of trauma? Yet narcissistically abusive people want to carry around with them that they have experienced such trauma in their life that it's formed them into an abusive person. That's incorrect. It makes no sense. How about PTSD? Post-traumatic stress disorder. This is the result of having trauma in your life. There's also complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Many people who are on the front lines in this life, who see atrocities and who see horrific things, suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. You coming out of an abusive relationship also are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. It's related to adrenal fatigue. It's related to being in fight or flight. It's related to being in that situation where you don't know if you're going to live or survive, or if you should run or if you should stay. That fight or flight mode. That's what triggers PTSD. And yes, coming out of toxic relationships with narcissistically abusive people, the moment you experience their rage, the moment you experience that hostility, you're put in that fight or flight response. And you're either running or you're in fear, and it never quite calms down. So yes, you know what PTSD is, post-traumatic stress disorder. You know what the resulting adrenal fatigue is, as you're unable to calm down because you're still in the situation. And by the way, if you're still engaging with the narcissist, you're still in the situation. It's like running away from an animal in the wild and always running, never able to get away from them. This is why no contact is so important. That's meant to be your safety. You get out of the threat, out of the danger, and then your body can find homeostasis and your adrenal fatigue can eventually resolve itself. Okay? But you're still running. But this is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, that you've experienced, I've experienced. And again, I ask you, does this cause you to become abusive towards others? Does it turn you into a narcissist? The answer is no. How about this? This is one of the most interesting ones, the most biggest misconceptions that I've heard, especially in church where I had come from. And this is that hurt people hurt people. This idea that when you're hurting inside, that you run around hurting everybody else. You have now been hurt by narcissistic abuse. So have I. We have been hurt by the world of toxicity around us. Now, does this cause you to want to go out and hurt other people? With premeditation, planning and scheming what you're going to say and what you're going to do and how you want to squash somebody out? No. You probably can't imagine to hurt somebody else in that way, especially somebody who's innocent, who hasn't done anything to you. Yet this is what we see with narcissists. So the point of this is to suggest to you and to help you to understand that no, a hard life, trauma, PTSD, and hurt are not the causes of narcissism. These things do not cause someone to become narcissistically abusive in life. So what does cause narcissistic abuse? What does cause somebody to become narcissistic? Well, there's two things that I believe that have to take place in order for narcissism to get a hold in a situation and to become damaging. The first one is that of having an attitude of entitlement. The I want, it's all about me. It's what I get. I've had enough. And anger. So if we allow entitlement and the me too, what about me? That's the attitude. It's the ego. Okay? But that can't exist by itself. That needs to be supported by something else in order to become narcissistically abusive, right? And what I believe the second thing is enablers. This can be family. This could be other people. It's a support system that supports the narcissist attitude of entitlement. So you have a person who feels entitled to be whoever and whatever they want to be. And then you have a group of people who say, yeah, that's okay. That's good. We like that. Now you have the two components to narcissistic abuse. See, narcissistic abuse doesn't exist in a vacuum. If there's nobody around to abuse, then the narcissist doesn't exist. The attitude of entitlement exists supported by enablers who are in agreement with that attitude, and that creates narcissistic abuse. And then you are just happen to be there for that attitude to attack, and those other people, the enablers, to support that attack. This is what creates narcissistic abuse. It has nothing to do with how hard and difficult their life is. It has everything to do with entitlement, which is an attitude, and enabling. Listen, I want to be a part of your healing journey, because the best thing that you can do is to recognize the attitude of entitlement and get out. And also recognize the enablers around them, because you're dealing with both in a narcissistically abusive situation. So get out. And I want to be a part of your healing journey in getting out of the situation. Down below, you can find access to one-on-one coaching with me. We could do a telephone call. We could do a FaceTime video chat or WhatsApp, or we could do a text message appointment. You can find out all the information down below. Click the links down below. Also, Monday night is Royal We Life Chat, where we come together as a community to ask questions, answer questions. That's at 9 p.m. Central Time every Monday night. Click the link down below. Also, Royal We Fellowship, which is an in-depth Bible study. We are in the book of Genesis, and we're applying the Bible to our understanding of this world of toxicity. It's unlike any other Bible study you've been a part of. You can find the links to this and much more down below in the description box. So head on down there, click, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.